Hey guys, I am back from my unplanned hiatus. I was not intending to be gone for more than a day or two. I've been so crazy busy with work that I just didn't have the mental capacity to sit down and deal with any of this stuff. Plus, it's been kind of warm here, so I've been dealing with a little bit of a heat wave and not necessarily being like in the right mind to record videos in the evening. So, one of the topics I really wanted to talk about a few days ago was this game Dustborn, a game that's been labeled the wokest game ever by Smash JT. And while it's a game that we don't know for sure that Sweet Baby Inc. has any direct involvement with, it's very obvious that there is somebody in the DEI department or in these narrative consulting companies who has been working with this company to make Dustborn, a game that looks horrible. And of course, it's going to sell tens of copies when it comes out, and it's going to be marketed as you'd expect. So from Games Radar, we have an article saying, Dustborn took me on a road trip where I fought with words, played Guitar Hero-like rhythm games, and made telltale style choices. Now, if you remember, there was a game that came out a couple months ago that actually was Sweet Baby Inc. In fact, this might have been 2023 this game came out. What was it? Thirsty Lesbian Suitors or whatever? It was one of these weird art style games. You can always tell with certain games, the art style, the politics of the people behind the game, the ideology of these people, you can always tell by the art styles that they choose to use. And it's this lazy Tumblr art looking crap. And that's exactly what we're seeing here with Dustborn. And of course, you have articles like this from PC Gamer saying, Dustborn let me smash fascists. And we all know to these people, these activists, these weirdos, the Antifa types, fascists are anybody who don't 100% align with their weirdo political or ideological opinions, right? So Dustborn let me smash fascists and flirt with my situationship on a road trip across America. By situationship, I can only imagine they're talking about this character who clearly is suffering from some sort of weird pigmentation issue with their skin. And of course, this is just like more of these, diversity checkboxes here. The future is queer if you're along for the ride, of course, is the little excerpt from this article. And you see the wide array of this wonderful looking cast of diverse characters, the strong black woman with the half-side shaved head. Again, the very thick androgynous person with the melanin issue. This is just the same crap we've seen force-fed for the past few months, and this game is not out yet, but boy, this is going to be a fun one to watch when it finally drops and flops simultaneously. So, on the topic of DEI forced into gaming, we've seen this game Capes recently added to Cabrutus Rambo's DEI Detected website, and of course, it is being published by daedalic Entertainment. So before we get into the game itself, I want to remind everyone, daedalic Entertainment is the one who put out the horrendous Gollum game, a game that was up there for worst game of the year when it came out in 2023, alongside that King Kong game and a few other ones. But again, this is the same company who, despite obviously working with people who want to virtue signal and try to be inclusive and get their ESG score higher, also had a situation where they were facing allegations of toxic work culture. And again, these are the people that they hired. These are the people that they choose to work with. The same people who want to force this DEI crap into games will then turn on them and claim all sorts of terrible behavior by the company itself. So this game Capes looks really boring, if I can be perfectly honest. This video here that came out 10 months ago got 36,000 views and had barely any interaction. Half the 10 comments, 5 of them are more recently. I think a few of them are just from today alone, from people covering this game. This game Capes is a hero tactical simulator of sorts, I guess, where it's like a turn-based tactics game where you assemble your team of superheroes. And of course, the ironic part of the entire situation is the game is called Capes and nobody even wears a cape, which is a little weird, but okay. I get the idea. It's kind of like a not your traditional superhero or whatever. But the comments 10 months ago, going back to when this first trailer came out, guy says this barely looks like it says Facet, Facet being the name of the character. It looks more like something else, and you can use your imagination about what that is. In my opinion, not gonna lie, this looks very bad. Looks horrible, dialogue's horrible. The way the game has evolved over the years, you would take this company, or you would think this company would try something better. And again, I think that's the general impression from a lot of people. People pointing out that this is published by the same company that put out the Gollum game, which is always a bad sign. Nobody should ever take daedalic Entertainment seriously from this point on, in my personal opinion. But now today, after the game was added to the DEI Detected site, now we have Spitfire Interactive responding to the game being listed on there. Or I guess this article came out yesterday on the 2nd. So it says, from that Park Place, Spitfire Interactive issued a response after its recently released game Capes was added to Cabrutus Rambo's site after it was revealed it consulted with Sweet Baby Inc. Cabrutus Rambo announced the game was added. He wrote, "Sup guys, I bring a new Sweet Baby Inc. game for y'all," and then he shared a link to it, and you can see right here in the credits for the game, Sweet Baby consultants, Alba Deza, Chris Kindred, David Bedard, all the usual suspects. Again, David Bedard being the co-founder of Sweet Baby Inc., Chris Kindred being the, I believe, transgender individual who has been going after people left and right and is initially the one who kicked off Gamergate 2 as we know it. So this article goes on to say that Spitfire Interactive developer Penta addressed the game being added to the DEI Detective website, writing on the game's Steam forums, "We already had 3 months and 14 pages of constructive discussion about, quote, DEI in the forum and delivered a gameplay update focusing on exactly what the player base wanted, leading to 80% positive recent reviews." Now, the ironic thing about this is if you actually go to the reviews, it's a little bit different. Mostly positive is the recent ones, sure. 30 mostly positive reviews. All reviews, 277, are sitting mixed at 67%. Granted, there's only about, if you combine the mixed and mostly positive, just over 300 reviews for this game. It should also be worth pointing out that this is a $40 game, all right? $40. You could spend $40 of your money on anything. And honest to God, this is not one of these games that I think is worth your $40. In fact, I've watched some of the YouTube reviews about this game, and people are saying, look, if this is a game that you enjoy, if you like this kind of strategy, wait for it to go half price. Buy it on sale. Maybe it's worth $20. I personally think it's probably worth 10. In fact, we're even seeing Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League recently drop down to as low as $20 again. And still, nobody wants to play it. So, it says here, you don't have to take my word for it, and this is again Penta, the developer speaking. You can actually read up on it yourselves, and then he had a link here on the discussions on the forum. But we were already able to explain that SBI only worked briefly, mainly to bring the 4 to 5 people strong indie dev team in contact with fitting voice actors together with the devs 2+ years ago, and many first skeptical players were able to find out that there's no hidden agenda or something else we, quote, forced down your throats, or other concerns they had, besides a well-rounded diverse cast, obviously. He then concluded, so why don't we just focus on the most important question that the OP was mentioning already? Is Capes fun? And this is exactly why I brought up the positive reactions towards our most recent update. We think you would enjoy it if you gave it a chance. And of course, then you have some of the user reviews. The tactics aren't fun, the cast is a diversity quota checklist, not actual characters, the game's tone is all over the place, I don't want to play it, and I don't want to watch it for the story either. In both gameplay and story, the games act like a derivative of a derivative of a derivative. There's no soul here, nothing interesting. It's like a superhero game made by people who hate superheroes. And boy, there is so much in this one statement right here. No soul. Derivative of a derivative. Nothing interesting. A game made by people who hate the subject matter. We've seen this so many times with so many different games where it's made by people who are actively antagonistic towards the target audience, towards the fan base, just intending to push their own agenda, despite the fact that Penta, the developer, is saying, oh no, there's no hidden agenda here. We totally, wanted to make sure that we were inclusive, but we didn't push any agenda. That's crazy talk. But again, somebody else points out that there's just more diversity that's there for no reason. The accents in the game are all over the place. The main characters each have a completely different accent. The enemies in games have different accents. And again, this is clearly somebody who is just trying to shovel as much garbage diversity crap into a game as they possibly could. And you can see that the player base is non-existent for this game. And of course, if you look right now, at not even 10 o'clock on a Saturday night, currently 14 players playing with an all-time peak of 664. Guys, even if this game didn't cost millions of dollars to make, which I doubt that it cost a fortune, there was still a lot spent on developing this game. They had to pay a lot of people. This is another one of these games that was made for an audience of nobody, and it's clearly resulting in exactly what you'd expect, a non-existent player base that's dead already, that nobody, they're not going to bring in any new people, that's for sure. And the reality is they'll eventually have to put this game on sale and basically write it off as a tax write-off. So I'm going to leave it right there. Let me know what you guys think about all this. Is this a game that even looks interesting to you? Go watch some of the gameplay trailers and then comment on here, because personally, I watched a little bit of it. Looks boring and monotonous as hell. But I'm going to leave it right here. I will catch you guys on the next one. Alright, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for being here. I do have 2 channels, Minimal Effort Podcast, as well as my gaming channel. I do have a Twitch and Kick for my gaming channel. We do live streams over there occasionally, maybe once a week. And then if you are in the market for a new PC, make sure to check out Meta PCs. Click the link I have down below. Use code TBO at checkout for a special discount. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.